right, now we'll take questions for Coach Sumlin.
Coach, what do you think happened in the third quarter tonight? That seemed like when the game kind of shifted around.
It did shift, and it got into a game where that they were able to control the line of scrimmage, basically, particularly offensively. We couldn't get off the field, and then when we did force them into third down situations, they made plays to make the first down. The plays that they didn't, we were able to defend in the first half, and it's. We just couldn't get off the field, and then we took some shots offensively early. I think the couple 3 and outs that we had, just looking back on it, we took shots on first down, and then couldn't stay on the field to keep our defense off. So that's a team effort. That's and give them credit because they control the line of scrimmage offensively, and then we couldn't stay on the field to help our defense in the third quarter. So it's both sides, which wasn't the case in the first half. And when you run 40-some plays in the first half and only come away with 10 points, that's an issue also. We were able to move the ball in the opening series, across midfield the first couple times, and we get no points out of that. We end up with 10 points in the first half and run 40-some plays. That's disappointing, but it's a combination of all those things. The time of possession, I think we were either even or controlled it in the first half, but didn't have the points to show for it. Our defense was getting off the field and we were moving it, but it's a team effort, and that's what we talked about. We will talk about. We talked a little bit about that after the game. I think there's a couple things that go along with that, and we talk a lot about hydration, but we don't talk about it enough right now. I think this team is in really good condition, but I think there's another component that we have to pay special attention to, particularly with the low number of guys that we're playing right now in a game like this. So that's something we certainly have looked into and just talked about really at the end of the game. It's about hydration. No, I think that what we saw today is going to be a little bit different, but certainly they put together a blueprint with the way they play defense, with the edges and not really attacking the inside. I think once we got to some spread formations, instead of trying to get to the perimeter all the time with those big guys, we were able to run it pretty effectively inside in the second half. And just because there's a plus and a minus to that. If people are going to play like that, we've got to get to some inside runs quicker that make the edges less effective. Because even if he's not running it, he's being effective as a blocker, and to be able to pull people out of the box, and then we've got to be able to take advantage of it like we did in the fourth quarter. We just talked about that on the radio. I said, I never, ever talk about a quarterback's performance than that right after the game, because and until I get back and look at the video, there are a lot of things that go into that. Was he flushed? Was he able to set his feet? Did he make the right reads? Or are guys in the right, at the right depth? There's 10 other guys out there that are responsible for his success, and sometimes he's cleaning up some other mistakes too. So, I'll be able to answer that probably Monday, a little bit better, Monday or Tuesday.
There were a lot of deep passes tonight. Was that game plan oriented, or did you just see that those guys looked to be open?
Yeah, some of them, and then we took some shots. Obviously we had a lot of personal fouls. A lot of pass interference calls because we felt like we could run by guys. We got some pretty quick, pretty fast guys and stretched the field a little bit, and we could have. There's probably a couple more plays. Somebody asked me, and we left plays out there in the field. That, but I thought Sean Poindexter made some great plays, and kept the pressure on to try to stretch the field and get some of those guys out of the box. And yeah, I mean, there's like I said, that's not an excuse. I think right off the bat, I can think of two situations in the third quarter where we were 3 and outs, maybe 3, that we took those shots on first down, and we're off the field. And so that's something that we didn't do in the fourth quarter and move the ball.
How would you assess the offensive line tonight?
You look at statistically, it's we can be better, and you got there's a lot of young guys out there too. Started freshman right tackle against an experienced defense, and we were concerned about that coming into the game, obviously. But those are our guys, and there's at times we were able to move the football, and the way we wanted to move it, and at times the protection was good. It was just kind of hit and miss, depending on what the scheme was and what it was, and just like we talked about in the locker room, this we got to learn from this, and it's all is not lost. We got a lot more football to play, and you really don't know what the makeup and who your guys really are until your first game. And so, as a team and as a coaching staff, we got to address those things and play to our strengths and and make those kind of adjustments. And I think our guys will understand a little bit more about what football is, because we have a lot of young guys out there again tonight, and not a whole lot of depth in that offensive line to be able to switch people out. Well, we draws and screens. We threw screens. We get tripped up a couple times on screens that we're about to get out, and we miss the block. So, screens are one thing. I think if you look at defensively, what they're talking about, for us, our screen game is part of our part of that package, and basically that. Once we had a couple of those that looked like they were going to get out or one man away, the rush kind of changed the rush itself. So yeah, it's our running attack and our screen game varies based on that, and to help those guys. So we've got a lot of different schemes that we can employ, but they don't stay in the same defense every snap, and they didn't tonight. Well, it depends. Depends on your team. Depends on when and how and what happens. And everyone's different. It's just like we talked about today in our locker room. Just there's things that that we're going to go to work and fix. As a coaching staff and with players. And the key to that is to stay together as a team and understand, hey, look, even if we had to come back there and won the game, we still got issues. And we have to address those issues honestly, as a coaching staff and honestly as a team, and then move forward. And the only way to do that is to not dwell on tonight, but to look at it tonight for what it really is, and then fix the issues starting tomorrow, and then be able to communicate those plans with our players and go back to work, because we got a lot of football left, and you know, the only way that I know that you can do that is to stay together as a team. And everybody's going to have their opinions about what should have happened and what could have been done. And, you know, but realistically, those don't matter unless you're a part of this football team.
One last question. You mentioned you don't know what you have until you play a game.
Yeah.
What did you learn about the team's response, especially when it started to fall behind in the third quarter?
Well, I think there's two parts to that. I think there's a response that it looked like it was going downhill fast in the third quarter, and then there was a response in the fourth quarter offensively, and really as a team to get back into the game. You know, to go for two and then have a chance to, you know, either decide to go for an onside kick. You got 3 minutes to go in the game. You know, and to kick the ball deep and then try to pin them down there. So, you know, there's two parts to that. You know, you've seen, I've been in situations where that third quarter continues into the fourth quarter as a team, and I didn't that you know, as a football team that didn't happen tonight because it turned into a one-score game with 3 minutes left to go in it. So, you know, you got to examine that, and I think that our guys have to be able to see that with everything that was going on, and a bang play for 2 points, you know, you're a field goal away from tying this thing up if we can get them stopped. So, you know, there's two parts to that.
Was that a close call, coaching decision to onside kick, not onside kick?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got 3 minutes, but you also had a couple timeouts left, right? So.
Was there a debate, or I'm not sure?
No, the debate in my mind, in my mind it was. Yeah, just because, you know, if we didn't have any timeouts left, that's a different situation, right? So, and particularly when you know if they're going to be an onside kick formation, you kick it deep, there's not going to be a return, the ball's at the 25, and you got 2 timeouts. You know, so we waited to call the timeout on, what was the second down? And then, you know, if we get them stopped on third down, they got to punt it. You know, we get the ball back with 1 timeout left. So that's basically the decision that was made right there.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Everyone, we're going to start with some questions for our student athletes from left to right. Defensive end Justin Belknap, cornerback Lorenzo Burns, quarterback Khalil Tate, and wide receiver Sean Poindexter. Answer questions for these guys, and then Coach Summerlin. Khalil, as a leader of this team, what did you see from tonight's loss?
I saw some good things and I saw some bad things. You know, it's a lot of things that are fixable. So, you know, it's something that's, you know, that's easy for us to get back to the drawing board and work on.
Did you anticipate throwing so much today going in?
I guess. I mean, a part of being a quarterback is to throw the ball. So I think that's something that, you know, I have to do.
With 34 times, the one who's ever thrown is 35.
Yeah. That's,
So that's a good number for you?
yeah, that's a good number. I don't remember exactly what that was about, but it's probably something about, you know, getting on the field and trying to, you know, move the ball and put our team in the best position to, you know, get points.
For anybody, what do you think happened in the third quarter? You guys went into halftime with a 10-7 lead, and by the end of the third quarter, it was 28-10.
I think we came out kind of flat. You know, I think every team, you know, has that factor sometimes. I think it's something that we can work on a lot, and we can, you know, get back to the drawing board and, you know, fix that.
Not in the sense where we were little, or the sense that we weren't expecting them to be, I guess, big O linemen. Like, every team's got big O linemen, so nothing really surprised us. It's just, we were just playing football and stuff, so, I mean, nothing really surprised us.
Justin, why do you think they were able to run the ball more effectively in the second half?
We started catching cramps, and I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but a lot of us started catching cramps and stuff like that, and it's just, that's on us. That's a hydration thing. But, I mean, I don't know. That's not an excuse that you should write down, or an excuse that's you know, that's not an excuse. I don't know.
They already gonna write that, bro. It's too late. I wanted to win. You know, that's the overall reason for playing football. I feel like, you know, everybody on our team, everybody up here at this podium wants to win games, and I think that's something that, you know, once the team wins, everybody wins.
How disappointing is it to, considering all the hype that was coming into this game and into this season, with Coach Sumlin here to lose the first game?
I mean, every loss, it sucks, obviously, but we're gonna go back to the film room and we're gonna learn from it. We're gonna bounce back next week. We can't hang our heads on it too long.
A lot of deep shots tonight. Was that something they were just giving you, those looks?
It was something that, you know, we discussed pregame. You know, we tried to use, you know, our big receivers like Sean, you know, just to get that factor, you know, worked on.
You had 14 rushing yards tonight. That was less than you had in any game last season. What do you think was responsible for that?
What do you mean?
Do you think it was their defense? Do you think you didn't have enough rushing attempts? Why do you think you were unable to kind of get going running the ball tonight? Just do you.
I mean, like I said, you know, being a quarterback, you want to win games. You know, that's the ultimate goal. Also, being a quarterback, you throw the ball, so you have a lot of passing yards. So I think that's something that, you know, people look at. And I don't think rushing yards, that's just something that comes with, you know, natural abilities.
Khalil, how would you personally rate the offensive line?
They did all right. You know, they had some pros and cons, of course, you know, like every team. But, you know, it's all about getting back and getting better. You know, we have film to watch it. You know, I think it's a good learning experience that we don't like losing, but it's something that, you know, is going to stick with us, and, you know, we're going to use that to bounce back.
What effect do you think those consecutive 3-and-outs had in the third quarter?
I mean, whenever you have a 3-and-out, you know, it's something that, you know, it sticks with the offense. You know, it's something that, you know, makes the offense realize that, you know, we got to really go out there and we got to get more yards and have to, you know, put points on the board. So I think it's something that, you know, we need to work on, but it's something that's very flexible.
Lorenzo, what do you think went wrong defensively?
Well, it's the first game, so there's going to be a lot of errors. Just staying disciplined, gaps, blown coverages. But it's nothing we can't fix. We're going to get better throughout the year. So.
One or two more questions for our student athletes? Okay. Thank you, everybody.